A massive economic storm is raging, and is very close to knocking on your door. Elon Musk also knows about this destructive hurricane and has issued warnings about it. Should we be concerned about the scenario now that it is in place? Don't worry, we've got you covered, and we'll make sure you know how to get yourself out of this sticky situation. Hold on tight. Elon Musk found a number of parallels between the current scenario and the 2007 subprime mortgage crisis. He claims that it's more accurate to say that it appears that a recession will hit this country in 2023. Although the size of that recession is uncertain, he believes it to be at least mild to moderate. It might happen as early as 2009. To kind of hope for the best while preparing for the worst, in his opinion, is sensible. So what changed during that time? So that we know what to anticipate. Due to the continuous decreases in prime rates since 2001, millions of customers secured low-interest home loans throughout that time. Because the loans were easy to obtain, more people wanted to buy new homes, which led to an increase in home prices. When loan rates spiked in 2005, things took a sharp turn, which had an impact on how affordable it was to buy new homes. Prices have skyrocketed. Well-qualified borrowers were unable to cover the exorbitant housing costs. Why? Because they were perceived by some as an absurd and exaggerated method of increasing their debt. Housing orders substantially decreased as the majority of subprime borrowers discovered that they were stuck in a huge hole with no way out. First, people who had adjustable rate mortgages, or ARMs, found it difficult to make their loan payments. Second, because the property market was once again in ruins, most people were unable to sell their homes for a profit. Therefore, they had little opportunity of escaping this predicament because most of them had to suffer losses and deal with the effects of the economic crisis. Banks took a risky step by canceling loans to subprime borrowers, which helped decrease prices and demand. This further added fuel to the fire. The banks, on the other hand, were risky since they had to take some losses. In the end, the loans they made became part of their assets. Similar to this, banks would have trouble tracking down the loans, which stopped credit facilities and made it harder for credit-worthy clients and businesses to obtain loans. Additionally, businesses were impacted since they wanted to reduce their spending and investments. Numerous layoffs followed, which caused a slowdown in product orders because their customers were out of work. Elon Musk said, quote, "Tesla is reducing the salaried workforce by about 10% over the next probably 3 months or so. We anticipate expanding our hourly workforce. As a result, the salaried workforce must be reduced. Now, it is around 2/3 hourly and 1/3 salary. Therefore, I guess technically, a 10% decrease in the salaried workforce is only about a 3% to 3.5% decrease in the total headcount." End quote. The combination of all these events led to the recession in December 2007. The situation was serious, and in 2010, the poverty rate increased from 12.5% to 15%. The American Recovery and Reinvestment Act was passed as a law by the Fed through the legislative process in order to stop this economic carnage, a budgetary decision that saw money added for job growth and job preservation, as well as for expanding unemployment insurance and safety net programs like food stamps. The law had no effect on the situation, nevertheless, since 22% of children and young people lived in poverty, and a considerable quantity of wealth was lost by the United States. The loss was a margin of 57%, or an estimated value of $16 trillion, caused by the decrease in stock prices. Really startling, no? According to a proverb, the affluent will get richer and the poor will get poorer. This means that during the economic crisis, even though most people and poor people lost money, rich people seem to make money. What is this saying to you? This suggests that the poor and average people suffer the most during a recession. Therefore, if you fall into this category, you should start saving more frequently in anticipation of the calamity. You don't want to find yourself in a bind if you have no emergency funds available. So begin living frugally right now. This means that the economic crisis didn't just affect the United States. It also had a big impact on other countries, which was surprising. One such example is Latvia, which projected a 25% decline in its gross domestic product, or GDP. Now, we have a strong understanding of what to anticipate and a clear image of how Elon Musk anticipates impending inflation. First, we should prepare for difficult times to come. This means you should find ways to make more money, so tough situations won't affect you as much. How do you accomplish this? You need to practice financial self-discipline and put at least 15% of your income into savings. All of these will protect you from the worst-case scenario and ensure that you can survive a recession. Second, Elon Musk warns you to prepare for the worst, since there is a greater than 60% chance that the recession will materialize. Elon Musk claimed in a podcast that hope is the only thing that can stop a recession. Very snarky, given that using hope as a tactic has never worked. What does he mean by "let us hope for the best" then? Internalizing this assertion, he describes the Fed as the only hope for saving the American economy from a possible rapture. Technically speaking, he hopes that the Fed will intervene and lower rates. However, he does not completely discount the worst-case scenario, which accounts for a larger portion of his projection. When the only source of optimism runs counter to what is anticipated, it is absurd. The Fed has increased interest rates by 0.75% points at each of their last 4 sessions. And it appears that at their 5th meeting, we will see another increase. In conclusion, I believe that hope should be the very last thing on our minds because, based on the trend, the Fed will likely continue to tighten up monetary policy while simultaneously hiking interest rates. According to my analysis, I can confidently conclude that there is a 70% chance of a recession and a 30% chance that everything will turn out okay. What does this indicate then? In the future, there will likely be a lot of layoffs. Therefore, you shouldn't feel secure in your job. In the same way, avoid putting all your eggs in one basket. And you might want to start looking for a fallback option in case you get fired. As a fallback, you might start looking into how to monetize your skills on the internet. For instance, if you are skilled in technical abilities like coding, you can try your luck with one of the many organizations seeking staff who can work remotely on LinkedIn. Thirdly, Elon Musk cautions against using margin debt. He said, quote, "From peak to trough, I suppose Broadcom went down 97% in less than 12 months. In other words, you were crushed even if you had a little margin loan there. Then, I believe, it recovered to much higher levels. However, you have to use extreme caution when taking on margin debt if there is a general stock market panic." Unquote. He claims that it might lead to a general panic, and we can explain this claim from a number of angles. When your balance as an investor falls below the minimal cost required by the broker, according to one fundamental tenet, you worry and issue a margin call since you are preoccupied with investing and don't want to lose money. You must add extra money to your account to satisfy the margin call's minimum value requirement. You run the risk of losing money personally because the market trend can occasionally change. When there are more margin debts, a recession is more likely to occur economically, as was the case during the Great Recession of 2008, when margin debts increased by more than 60%. Elon Musk advises against taking on margin debt since it is harmful to investors and the economy as a whole, because, generally speaking, it cannot be ruled out that margin debt is a sign of a downturn in the economy. Elon Musk appears to have provided clarification on the matter. According to him, the recession won't last forever because the issue will undergo another significant change that will speed up its recovery. He points out that this upcoming recession will come and go in much the same way as previous ones have. Since the Fed is purposely causing this to break apart in order to promote an economic reset, the economy will eventually have to go through hell when everything falls apart. Elon Musk said, quote, "Well, I believe that a recession will eventually occur. I believe it is more likely than not that there will be a recession in the near future. Although it's not certain, it seems more likely than not." Unquote. He typically predicts that the economy will stabilize in 12 to 18 months. According to his experience, businesses will face negative cash flows during that time before overhauling to get back on track, he claimed in a tweet. What are the takeaways from this? According to Elon's timeframe, the end of 2024 or the middle of 2025 is definitely the best time to start investing or perhaps launching your own business. I know it may seem long, but I assure you, it's worthwhile. All that's left to do is put the plans on hold and save any money you get. Lastly, Elon Musk supported his forecast by making significant layoffs at his company, Tesla, in anticipation of a probable recession. He describes the action as being extremely awful because it went against his wishes. Imagine yourself as a boss who must fire your best employees due to a sudden downturn in the economy because you want to protect your business from the worst. Pretty demanding, no? Tesla is already planning to oversee further layoffs in the upcoming quarter. Are you in the same boat as Elon Musk? Are you ready to face the recession like Elon Musk? Comment below and let us know. We appreciate you taking the time to watch our video. If you liked it, be sure to show your support with a like and share it with your friends and family. To stay on top of financial matters, subscribing and hitting the notification bell is highly recommended. This way, you'll be among the first to know when new content is released.